Hello and welcome to Opening Bars. It is widely reported that this song was written for a high school crush, one Virginia Callahan, who managed to resist this songwriter's exhortations. When it was released by Columbia Records as a single in 1977, problems arose. Church officials got wind of it and promptly began a campaign to have the song banned for its seemingly anti-Catholic sentiment. As a result of the publicity, and much to Billy Joel's surprise and his record company's delight, record sales soared. As a side note, you may not know that this song was originally conceived with a reggae beat, but Billy's drummer at the time, Liberty DeVito, was so sick of playing in that style that he suggested the shuffle riff that we are now familiar with on the album. Let's look at the chords and harmonic movement. Here is the piano grand staff with a notated treble clef for the right hand and bass clef for the left hand. There are no sharps or flats, so we are either in C major or A minor. The time signature is 4/4. The chords in the right hand are all triads in either root position or second inversion. In the first measure, all four chords are in their closest closed position beginning on an F, seen 3 times, and then a G. In the next measure, there are 2 triads in root position, on an A and G respectively, and then 2 in second inversion, the first being an A, C, E, which forms A minor, and the last being G, B, D, which is G major. At the beginning of the third measure, we have an F, C, A, also in second inversion, switching orientation to a root position for the next 2 chords, and then a G chord in root position over an F in the left hand. I know that a lot of sheet music online shows that bass note being a D, but I just don't hear it in the recording. In the final measure, we have G and F chords in their second inversion coming to rest on a C major triad. There's nothing particularly special about these chords at all. They are all variations on F, G, and A. You can see by the harmonic analysis that these opening bars are centered on the subdominant, 4, much like we saw in our I Can't Make You Love Me lesson. We have multiple instances of the 4, and 5 chords in the major, and 6 in the minor, either in their primary position, 6/4 inversion, and 1 solitary instance of a 5/4/2, otherwise known as a third inversion. You really don't get a true sense of the tonality of this piece, however, which is in fact C major, until you get to the chorus, which is a very common and basic 1/4/5 progression throughout. The only thing of particular note is the penultimate chord before the C major final triad, in that we have an F major triad in the right hand over a G in the bass. We have seen this kind of thing before. In keeping with the 5/1 perfect cadence, that G is the foundation of a 7 chord, the F being the 7th, the C in the right hand being an anticipation note to the final chord, and that A is a passing tone, moving from the B through the A and to the G. I personally just like to think of the whole thing as being one giant passing chord, and typically label it as such. You will also notice at the end of these staves that I've included a courtesy clef, indicating that the left hand will be notated in the treble clef on the next page. Let's take a look at the rhythm. You can see, and you already know from listening to the excerpt, that there are a lot of syncopations in these opening bars. Remember to count out loud throughout, slowly. Let's play that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't rush through establishing the rhythms. Deliberately repeat and repeat and repeat, thinking deeply on what and how you are playing. Only once these rhythms are solidly under your fingers and in your muscle memory should you slowly work your way up to performance speed, which is about 153 beats per minute. Never be afraid to return to a slower tempo if you are unsatisfied with your practice performance, and then take the time to work slowly up to tempo again. Now that you know all of the notes, you can concentrate on advancing specific piano techniques. One skill that you can work on is to play triads in rapid succession, keeping your hands in a fixed but relaxed position. Create exercises for yourself using chords in different inversions. Don't accent any chords, just keep them as even and balanced and as rhythmic as possible, using only the white keys on the piano. Let's try that now in root position. And in first inversion. And second inversion. Don't forget to also practice them in the left hand as well. Notice again that there is a courtesy clef at the end of the right hand staff, a treble clef with a small number 8 on the top, indicating that we will be playing the notated notes up an octave on the keyboard. Most likely the sheet music you will have seen online will only include one note in the left hand and 4-note chords in the right hand, but it sounds to me like Billy is playing triads in the left hand as well. Now that you have practiced playing triads in rapid succession, this should be pretty easy. Remember to keep both hands in a relatively fixed but relaxed position. Keep your hand movements as quiet and uneventful as possible. As singers' voices get older, you may often hear them transpose their songs into lower keys. On one YouTube video I saw of Billy Joel live in Italy in 2006, he sings this piece down a tone, in B-flat major. Try it in this new key, but you'll notice how much more difficult it is to negotiate, because you will have to move your hands deeper into the keyboard to accommodate the elevated black keys. It's a good exercise anyway, but I suspect that when Billy played this live, and even though he is a seasoned professional, he may simply have pressed the transpose -2 key on his electronic piano. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. Remember, don't just play notes. Make music. Until next time, thanks for listening.